Well, thanks a lot. First of all, I'd like to wish a very good evening to all the dignitaries on the dais and all the wonderful students who have been shouting a lot. And it's been quite interesting to see because a lot of times I see a lot of students. I mean, I was a student myself. I'm still a student myself. I'm pursuing computer engineering in the third year. So it gets a little boring when all the people start coming up and try and give their speeches. But I'm not here to give you guys a speech. I'm just here to share a few experiences and maybe a few anecdotes as well, which will give you some insight on what it is like to be a student and be working full time and trying to make your career out of something else. Now, I started off about 10 years back, but before I go there, we had Dr. Parag Sanghani talk about a few really good things. The first thing was excellence. And talking about excellence, I mean, they say excellence is a journey, but I beg to differ. It's actually a lifestyle. When you are really passionate about something, when you are dedicated to it, when you are disciplined, being disciplined is one of the most important things because, discipline, not towards someone else, not towards something else, but being self-disciplined and ethics. And being true to yourself is something that is really important when you want to talk about excellence, because if you're not passionate about something, if you don't really want to do something by heart, then you are not going to succeed at it. I mean, I came here, I met Mohit after about 4 or 5 years, and I never really realized we belong to the same industry. And talking about electronic sports, at least in India, is one of the subjects that is frowned upon a lot, because a lot of people question how you're going to build a career out of gaming. Now, well, it is a little hard to explain to people, but anywhere where there's an audience, you can build a career out of it. And having the advent of internet, having that platform on the internet, it makes it really, really easy. And talking about employability, that was one of the things that I actually talked about. And being a student myself, and when you talk about employment, when you talk about engineers not having employment, let's talk about how employable our engineers are actually, because you go out to college, you just study, and you pass your exams as well. But are you actually an employable engineer? Are you dedicated? Are you dedicated enough? Are you disciplined enough? And are you true to your subjects? If you're not true to your subjects, you are not going to be employable, and we can't even talk about employability. But in the presence of Dr. Parag Sanghani, I would like to bring upon one point, which does really become a hurdle in students' life, but having that attendance criteria is something that I really, at least on a personal level, I really hate, because it sort of becomes a boundary for students who are going to try and go out and do something. I started off with esports about 11 years back, but I did not have the opportunities that I had till the time I came in second year. And once you start getting the opportunities, once you start getting the platform to showcase what you have, and not being able to catch up with your academics just because of an attendance criteria is something that is really, really upsetting. But again, that is an open debate. That is a really, really long debate that we could have. But one of the other things I would like to say is only change is constant. So even when we go to classrooms, even when we are educating ourselves, let's not bind ourselves with the boundaries of college. It's in this day and age, with the advent of internet, with all the resources that we have available, educating yourself is easier than ever. I'd go on to say, even if you are pursuing one subject in your college, you can go out and pick up on something else. We talked about vocational courses as well. Our respected Minister, Bhupendra Singh Ji Chudasama, he talked about, vocational courses in college. Why do we need vocational courses if a degree was good enough? Everyone comes to college, fine, you got yourself enrolled into a university, into a college, but what do you do after getting into the college is what counts, because when you go out for a master's degree, I don't think you're going to need to go out for a master's degree, because we have the postgraduate courses as well. But what counts is, apart from academics, what else do you have to offer? Because academics is going to give you a platform. Obviously, academics are important, but what else do you have is something that's really important as well. I hope a few of my reflections are going to be able to help you guys out. I started about 10 years back, and it was a very long journey of convincing people, fighting with people on how I could make a career out of gaming. But again, if you are going to try something which is new, which is which hasn't really happened before, and if you're going to try and do something which is innovative, you have to risk being misunderstood. You have to be willing to get misunderstood, because it took me about 7 years fighting through college, through school. I mean, Mohit would probably stand testimony to the fact that a lot of teachers didn't really like me because I was one of the notorious ones in the class. But again, I knew my limitations. I never really crossed the line, but I knew what I was capable of as well. I was true to my subject. I was true to esports. And whatever subject you choose, a lot of people are confused about the career prospects. Now, I've seen this video. I can't seem to recall the name of the person, but this is one of the questions that I've been going around preaching a lot to every single place, is the fact that if, what would you do if money were no object, if you had 24 hours to spend by yourself? I mean, fine, it's okay, because not everyone has the opportunities and the platforms that we probably have while you're studying in this university. But what would you do if money were no object and you had 24 hours? Someone would like to be a painter, someone would like to be a singer, someone would like to be a dancer. Go ahead and do that. You can make a career out of it, because if you are passionate about something, you are going to excel at it. And that is why I stress upon excellence and passion, because if you are passionate about something, you are going to stay true to itself. And well, I hope you guys could learn something and could pick up on something from my speech. Thanks a lot.